Hiya, my name's Sue. I am doing short FAQ videos about Dutchins's work. I also do how-to videos, and this one will be a how-to video, which will be slightly longer. And this one is going to be about similar to how to look up earthquakes on my channel, but this one is about looking up certain earthquake events as well as volcanic events. Another example is if you're talking to a friend and they say they felt an earthquake whilst on holiday or something, and then you can find out what date it was, and then you can backtrack on what might have led to it. Now, assuming that you might know a bit about Dutchinse's work in forecasting earthquakes, if not, I'll just go over it very quickly in the map that he's got. So this is on his website. If you just Google Dutchinse progression map, earthquake progression map, might come up. It should come up, and here you can see these arrows and the letter D's and X's, which are quite important really. So he's worked out over the years that there's a progression, and where the deep earthquakes occur, which are often quite regular in the same places. So for example, Fiji, I tend to talk about quite a lot. Fiji has quite a lot of deep earthquakes, and it pushes up with upward pressure, and it will cause shallower, large earthquakes in the area, sort of quite a wide area, thousands of miles. And then that's when you follow the arrows and the journey kind of begins and ends at the termination point. So in his 8 years of studying this pattern, he's worked this out, and the direction it goes, which is all quite interesting to try and track yourself one day and just try it really. So of course it involves looking up earthquakes and then just taking note. So okay, if we just go to a web browser, and I've done this by looking on wiki for largest earthquakes, and I've gone and chosen this one, for example, just choosing a very obvious large one, which is the one in Indonesia, 2004, December 26th. So we had a 9.1 to 3. So this was quite a devastating one here. So so we're going to look up, say, 2 weeks before it happened and just get some clues in what led to it. So, excuse my little birdie, he's quite nearby. So if you search USGS and search, and then this should take you to the search catalogue on their website. And then here it's quite user friendly, you can input the data you need. So just at a glance, we're going to see what earthquakes were magnitude 5 upwards in the last maybe a week, I suppose. I forgot what date it was. 2004, 26. And 26, 20, 19, 18. Come on, Dodge. Alright, my bird's called Dodge. Right, okay, just at a glance for a week. Let's see. Right, of course it's going to give me all the aftershocks, so I might have to take those out in a minute. So let's look for the magnitude 9 first. Right, okay, so 00:58 the time was. Bye. 00:58. So I'm just going to narrow the list down because the aftershocks is not what I want to see in the list because it's so long. So I'm just going to take the time to 00:59. That'll do, perfect. That should, yeah, there we go, brings it up to the top of the list. Okay, so now we look at this visually, we can see there's quite a few magnitude 5s going around the planet, and this is going from the 18th, so 18th to the 26th, so 8 days. Right, so okay, so we can see, I can see there's even a deep 5.8 as well, but that's too soon. Oh no, that's 2 days before it happened. No, a day before it happened. So, okay, so I just wanted to know where that is. All right, so, oh right, yeah, of course. There's an 8.1 south of New Zealand. So that was 3 days before it happened. So there's a chance that compensation movement might cause this, but it turned out to be larger. So already we can see the planet was kind of a little bit busy. We got some 6s, mid 5s, high 5s. Yeah, so it's pretty chaotic. I can see already with quite high 5s to mid 5s. So yeah, there's a bit of a clue. The next thing is to look at deep earthquakes. So now I'm going to take out the minimum magnitude so I can see the whole range of deep earthquakes. There shouldn't be as many shallow ones. Go from 250 kilometers upwards or deeper, and let's have a quick look at this. Let's try that again then. Minimum. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so 25th, 24th, which is a very long list on the 24th. 23rd, not very long. 22nd, 21st, 19th. So it looks like, 19th is a long list, longish. Okay, so Fiji is quite a common place to have earthquakes, and you can see on the 24th there's loads. Goodness me. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 deep Fijis in one day. Now, that is an extremely a lot of amounts. Usually we get around the odd one a day, or in a week you probably get about 4 or 5 or something, but that is, 14 in one day in the same place is enough of a clue for it to cause something down New Zealand as well as across the fault line. So I'm not surprised that that has happened. Yes, and then you've got this larger one as well, 5.8. So small, deep earthquakes can cause larger shallow ones, up to 1 to 2 magnitude larger, according to Dutchinse. So as a sort of guide, this gives you an idea of what's happened. So there we go. There's an example of what happened for Indonesia. Okay, so now let's look at a volcano. I watched this documentary about this volcano in South Africa called Nyiragongo in near Rwanda, and the nearest town being Goma. And there were some deaths involved, as well as poisoning from gases. 400,000 people were evacuated. So this erupted in 2002, January 17th. So we'll do this same kind of thing for this, January 17th, 2002. So let's have a look at this. So we just check magnitude 5s and upwards first. January. Let's go for the first. Just take that to 23. Take the depth away. We're just looking at shallow earthquakes for now, from 5 onwards, and this is about 17 days worth, isn't it? Okay, I think I might have done too long a list actually. Well, let's just get an idea. Oh, actually, I think I would take it down to. Let's take it to the 9th. Okay, get a feel of how long the list is. So Vanuatu seems to be getting busy, and Papua New Guinea is also quite busy. Tonga. So all these names, apart from Chile, South America, is that right? Yeah. So there's a lot of these that are quite concentrated in this area here. I can just zoom in, maybe I can. Okay, it's just I have to go by experience and look the names. So Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, Easter Islands. There, that won't count. Tonga, that's along there. You can see it highlights in blue, turquoise. Japan is probably a bit far up. Oh yeah, that's also in the same place. So there's quite a few 5s and mid 5s to 6s going on all along this fault line here. Now what Dutch has worked out is that if you look at his map, this fault line here, when there's a sort of influx of pressure coming from Fiji, if there's enough pressure, it will head towards South Africa, and he's put this arrow, or he's worked at this X point sort of thing here. So even though if we just look at the USG fault line map, there's no fault line here, but this area is quite volcanic anyway, and there's lakes, and you can see the formations of mountains and things in satellite imagery. So so that's quite interesting. Now let's have a quick look at deep earthquakes as the final bit of investigation, really. Let's have a look. So we take off the minimum magnitude. We go for the same amount of days, and we put in 250. Let's see what that comes up with. So 5s and 4s. So when it's the larger number, then that could be a problem sort of thing. 17th, 15th, 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, 10th, 9th. So 17th, 14th, 12th. So not as many as before the Indonesian one. That's not that deep, really. Some sizable ones. Let's just lengthen the search, because sometimes deep earthquakes take a bit longer to arrive. So let's go from the first. That to me is an unusual place to have a deep earthquake. Quite sort of, usually there's a deep earthquake zone higher above it, and this is quite deep as well, so that could have been a clue. Also being 5.9 is quite large for its depth. Well, it could be any size really, but it's unusual. Barley Sea 4.5, yeah. So in the 2 weeks, it looks like there's been quite a bit going on, and there's these are quite big then. So that could play the role in it too, but it took a while. So it's either gone straight across or gone all the way around, according to the map here. So it could have gone the long way around and taken a lot of time to push through all this, as well as gone straight across. So it could have been both ways of pressure. It can hit to get to the eruption there. Yeah, so that's all quite interesting. Nowadays we don't get so many deep earthquakes. There seem to be less and not so big. And then when there is the odd big one, we kind of go. Ooh. But so it's all very interesting to keep an eye on these deep earthquakes and see what happens if there's, especially when there's a lot of them. So yeah, so there's the information there. Hope you like this video. I shall try and do another one sometime soon. I just need to think of what. Okay, take care all. I'll speak to you soon.